Any idiot with superpowers can have a pop at Spider-Man and have a pretty good chance of taking him down, in the first encounter at least. But you know what takes proper balls? Being a regular bloke and still having a pop. Sergei Kravinoff was just a man who wanted to challenge himself, to prove himself, prove that he's one of the greats even without superpowers. So when his half-brother, the Chameleon, told Kraven of the Spider-Man, super strong, super fast warrior of New York City, how could he resist? Kraven's about to explode in popularity when this new game, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, not to be confused with Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, or Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, comes out on the PS5, but Sony have made one grave miscalculation in the plans. I don't have a PS5. So we're going to look at some of Sergei's comic appearances instead. A couple of classic tales about this spectacular savage should hopefully fill the void. So you think there's no new types of supervillains for Spidey to battle, eh? Well, you got a surprise coming, because there's one of the newest and greatest of all. Kraven the Hunter. Oh, and yay, the Chameleon's back as well. Oh. Spidey roughs up some well-dressed mugs who are planning on a bank heist, and one of them, unbeknownst to the webhead, is the Chameleon, the same shape-shifting scoundrel from the Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. Chameleon slinks away like the lame villain he is. For a second I thought he changed to J. Jonah Jameson, but apparently it's just Old Man with Cane. Anyway, he remembers the beginning of the Wallcrawler's superhero career, when Spidey kicked his ass with ease and ponders if any mortal could squash the spider. Then he remembers he knows just the man for the job, the world's greatest hunter, Kraven. A few days pass and the media is buzzing with news of this legendary hunter coming to New York. And when Kraven's animals are accidentally set free, Spidey gets to see firsthand what his new nemesis can do. The dude manhandles 2 cobras, then one-bombs 2 gorillas and picks another one up like Rafiki does to baby Simba. All this without superpowers, I'll remind you. It's even enough to impress Peter, so imagine his worry when Kraven then reveals he's here to hunt the Amazing Spider-Man. And I love how Triple J, despite hating Spidey, still says that's a bit out of order, innit? Jonah might have a Spider-Man shaped blind spot, but he's always been a good man at heart. Kraven though, not so much. Despite the Chameleon's warnings, Special K's confident he'll win this hunt. Kravinoff studies his prey in action and is just delighted to see that Spidey's got it all. Like a kid at Christmas, Kraven can't wait any longer. He's giddy that Spider-Man senses his presence and the two have the first fight, brawling across the building tops at midnight. Dramatic. Check this move out here, mate. He slams Spider-Man to his ass with one hand, then gives him a dead arm. How cool is Kraven? Spider-Man's stronger than him yet, so he decides to get tricky and use one of his jungle potions to even the playing field. Kraven breaks away from the scrap, claiming his poison will weaken Spidey so he can defeat him at his leisure. I'm not sure why he doesn't just beat him now, except the fact we're only on page 10, so Stan the Man obviously wants to drag this one out. Next day, Peter's feeling a bit better, but still a bit shaky. He's unsure what to make of it, so he goes to work where he's shocked to find Kraven, but he's not here hunting Spidey. J. Jonah Jameson wants the story from Sergei, who's boasting to Jonah how he's going to destroy Spidey once and for all in a show of integrity though. Triple J stresses he won't let Kraven work outside the law for this hunt. Why he thinks Kraven gives a crap what he thinks, I don't know, but it's probably an honour thing, it usually is with this fella. Peter's shakes though continue. He's getting nervous, you see. The poison mixed with Kraven's raw manly confidence has puny Parker on edge. It's mind games, mate. Kraven's screwing with him. Pete plans to stick a trusty spider tracer on his enemy so he knows if and when he's going to attack. And I like how he's too shaky to web swing, it looks funny. Get onto this though, Peter's doing exactly what Kraven wants him to do. He knew Spidey had come for him, so he slyly leads his quarry from the concrete jungle and into Central Park for what Kraven intends to be their final showdown. Spider-Man though, despite his literal psychic early warning system, gets caught in Kraven's web and barely manages to escape. Hang on though, did that spider bite give him the power of quick thinking and rapid action, or was he born with that? They're already stretching it with spider sense. If real life spiders actually psychic, I don't think they are. The power of sick beats and magnets sends the webhead reeling, and to be fair, these magnetic monocles sound like they'd be proper annoying to deal with. Spider-Man realises he can goop up the bracelets to stop him ringing his location out to the hunter, and I do like when he does clever things with his webs rather than just swinging or sticking people. Chameleon goes down in one panel, befitting a villain of his calibre, and Spider-Man gets a bit more confident he can survive now that things are making more sense. This part here represents a turning point in this issue, when Spider-Man resolves to stop being the prey and become the predator. Pete plays some mind games of his own, and this panel in particular is cool because he essentially threw Kraven's own face at him, which is a bit harrowing on its own, but also tells the hunter Chameleon's been quashed. Kraven tries to leg it, but he can't shake Spidey. You can tell from the dialogue here Kraven's getting desperate, perhaps even afraid. But scared or not, Kraven's no coward. Funny how the fella named Kraven's one of the bravest baddies Spidey fights like, but it's Stan Lee, so with other clever twists like the guy called Otto Octavius getting 8 limbs and a man called Doom becoming a supervillain, I'm surprised Kraven's name wasn't Howard Huntsman or something. Anyway, scared or not, Kraven's no coward and he strikes. But Spider-Man's just too good, isn't he? Trapping the hunter. It's great how it really feels like Peter's back in charge here. The confidence and the cheekiness of this line, where he says, "Where are you going? Jail's the other way," tells you that Peter's back in control of the whole situation. And thus ends the first battle in the legendary rivalry between Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter. Honestly, fantastic issue, great fights, great character drama, all round top job. Villain was threatening, hero was dynamic, good moral about standing up for yourself, I suppose, not giving in to your nerves and that. But our favourite mustachioed madman doesn't just fight bug-themed adventurers. Sometimes he clashes with other mustachioed madmen, such as the time Kraven and his bumbling sidekick the Chameleon thought it would be a funny idea to pick a fight with Iron Man. Imagine if an MMA fighter tried to fight a fighter jet. That's basically what this is, and it goes the way you'd expect. Yeah, I know the cover says Iron Man fights Captain America and doesn't mention Kraven, but give me a minute to explain, please. Iron Man's out testing his new armour, and he's flying by this ship where 2 mysterious figures come ashore. It's Kraven and Chameleon. Told you it'd turn up. They're fuming about getting deported after Spider-Man defeated them, and I think it's funny how Chameleon's like, "Yeah, me too, don't forget about me." The two argue about who's in charge until Kraven gets sick of Chameleon, like I am, and rushes up the cliffside. By the way, just beyond this cliffside is the munitions factory of Anthony Stark, and I'm sure he keeps a pretty well guarded property, because soon as Kraven reaches the top, the Invincible Iron Man is waiting for him. Ah, you say, but Kraven has the strength and speed of the jungle cats. Well, I say, Iron Man's wearing a flying tank. Cool as Kraven can be, this is a bad matchup for him, and he does get absolutely rinsed. But the balls on this man, he certainly went for it, and even though he lost this fight, he didn't once show any fear, didn't beg, never stopped believing in himself. I genuinely believe Kraven believed he could win this one, and that's a self-confidence we can all learn something from. The rest of the issue is Chameleon. He's screwing around with Iron Man and Captain America, making them think each other is really the Chameleon, so they fight. But not really a lot of Kraven left in this after he gets one bombed. Maybe if Smerdakov, no way I've pronounced that right. Maybe if the Chameleon ever does anything cool, I'll make a video about him. But don't hold your breath, because he's been defeated by both Mary Jane and Aunt May. But for now, we'll stick to the Hunter, and we're going to take a look at one final tale. Hopefully one that makes him look good, unlike this one. Maybe take a look though is the wrong choice of words, because we're diving into Daredevil, the man without fear. Back in the day, Daredevil was actually a double-up book that he shared with his girlfriend at the time, the Black Widow. These two have raw history in the comics that's never really touched upon in other works. These two lived together in San Francisco for years, they knew each other's identities, all sorts, mate. So Double D and his lady friend are working out getting sweaty together, when Matt Murdock, blind lawyer by day, Daredevil by night, gets mail from the butler Ivan saying they're invited to this cocktail party. Meanwhile, at the mysterious estate of the man simply known as The Man, creative name, former master of the Dark Messiah, Angar the Screamer, and Ramrod. You know, the famous Daredevil villain, Ramrod, bleeding Ramrod. Actually, Angar does end up being important to the universe later, because he's mates with Screaming Mimi, and she ends up being Mockingbird of the Thunderbolts, which is important later. But this is Kraven's video, mate, and look, there he is. The Man offers compensation, but Kraven only cares for the hunt, the thrill of the challenge. Money? Nah, mate, anyone can have money, but only Kraven can have the honour of victory. Murdock returns home after a long day at the office to find his house in absolute bits, and his butler's all tied up. Ivan says some lunatic in a jungle suit barged in, tied him up and kidnapped Natasha. So, yeah, he did it off screen, but Kraven's just defeated the Black Widow in combat. Top assassin, regular Avenger Natasha Romanoff Black Widow has just gone down to Kraven's raw animal ability. That's a good, feat, innit? But no harm will apparently come to her so long as Daredevil faces him in combat. Alone. Guess where Kraven wants to fight Daredevil, just guess for me. Yeah, the zoo. So soon as DD arrives, the hunter springs his trap. Untamed fury of a jungle cat, he used that exact threat against Iron Man as well, and it didn't go so well that time. Force of a mighty bull elephant, and yet he's still caught off guard when Daredevil senses him. That's because Kraven runs around screaming that he's got speed of a jaguar, brute strength of a gorilla and all that. But Daredevil doesn't broadcast his powers. Oh, continued after next page, hang on. This all turned out to be a test to Kraven as he begins his retreat. Now that he's sized up San Fran's horn-headed hero, he releases some elephants to squish the Widow. More adverts, bloody hell. Daredevil saves Natasha, but the K-Man escapes into the night. Look at how close he is here. You're telling me Matt can't sense him there? He's behind some trees. Kraven must be absolutely flawless at camouflage if he can even mask his scent from bloody Daredevil. Life goes on, and then 6 days later, Matt and Natasha at that cocktail party from the beginning. Thought I forgot that plot point, didn't you? Well, guess who crashes the party? And I do mean crash. Kraven goes right for Murdock here, so you'd think he definitely knows who Matt is. But then he reveals he was just swinging at whoever was nearby to coax out Widow and a bedeviled boy toy, so what a coincidence. Once more they have a fight, and this poor man who just wanted to throw a nice party has his house smashed to crap by Daredevil, Black Widow and Kraven. But Kraven absolutely loves it. Matt can hear his heart thundering in excitement, and Kraven proclaims the hunt is his life. That ends up being very literal later when he has his famous last hunt, doesn't it? Ends up being his life and his death. Oh my god, look, he puts on some tiger boxing glove to try and kill the heroes with. That is the cutest weapon I've ever seen. And that is worse than them nipple lasers from Spider-Man 47. But talk all the crap you want, the man gets the job done. Such raw animal power, such savage cunning is more than the man without fear can handle. So Kraven tries to poison Daredevil with a dart, like he did with Spider-Man actually. But Widow takes the bullet instead. Do not be an arachnid-based superhero around Kraven or he will poison dart you. He's done it twice. And with Murdock distracted, Kraven gives him a good old headbutt right in the chest. In real life this would probably hurt Kraven more than it hurt Daredevil, but here it seems to work, because the issue ends with Kraven victorious, ready to send Hornhead straight to hell. What an absolute legend of a supervillain, man. No one screws with Kraven, he's cool as hell. Manages to keep up with all the superfolk using just his experience, technique and sheer willpower. He's one of the only villains with a definitive victory over Spider-Man no matter what, and clearly he deserves that distinction. No matter how he gets portrayed in other media, you can guarantee that in the comics where he began, Kraven kicks ass.